Today is a somber topic and not one that I expected to be talking about today. We're talking about the terror attacks in Israel and the worldwide response. We're recording this October 12th of 2023. I've assembled a panel of guests who are all active members of Entrepreneurs Organization, which has mobilized an amazing amount of support. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that are happening at this moment in time. But first, I want to quote President Biden, who said that this was a pure, unadulterated evil that was unleashed on this world. Unfortunately, more than 1,000 civilians killed, slaughtered, at least 25 American citizens killed, parents that were killed saving their children. It was just absolutely awful. We all try and see what we can do at times like these when something happens. And I figured that I could use this platform that I've built in order to shine a light on some of the good things that are happening right now, and also to educate anyone listening to this, anyone watching this, on how they can contribute. But this is undoubtedly a humanitarian crisis. It has nothing to do with politics at all. It's very personal for me. On my wife's side, we have two aunts in Israel, one in Jerusalem, one in the north in Zikrim Yaakov, two first cousins, one in Jerusalem, one in Tel Aviv, one of whom is in the IDF reserve and will likely be called up. One of the places that was hardest hit, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but Kibbutz Be'eri. I didn't even know this, but we have extended family on my wife's side that was there, one of whom was taken hostage for about 24 hours and thank God was released. I have a family friend that lives 100 yards from me, whose kids are friends with my kids, who's Israeli, and her husband is having to go back to Israel tonight on a plane. It makes me very angry. This is touching everyone in every part of this globe. It affects all of us. And that's why I decided to do this here today. I want to start with my friend Nir Zavaro. Nir, you're in Israel, I believe in Tel Aviv. Take us through what the last 4 days have been like. I know you're operating on very little sleep, but tell us what the experience has been like for you and what you've been going through.
I don't know if you know this. On Sunday, I was supposed to launch a book titled Fuck the Slides, which I've been working on for 2 years. And now, who gives a fuck? The situation is I woke up on Saturday, 7:30 to an alarm. I didn't even hear the first siren. I was asleep and life changed. I think we couldn't even understand the magnitude in the first hours we were sitting next to the TV, understanding that something unfolds. But in Israel, terror attacks, they happen. What happened now is not a terror attack. There's a purge. It's an unbelievable situation. This is a nation grieving, in shock. People say, I feel for you. I'm sorry. I hope we meet soon. Or how are you? We don't even know how to answer to these things. My best friend is his kids are sleeping next to their mom because they're afraid they're going to get kidnapped at night. The streets are closed. Things are empty. This is a nationwide trauma. I want to state that this has nothing to do with politics. I believe there are both sides that have issues. Hamas has one goal, and if you could look at their charter, it's to kill Jews and then the rest of the world. I believe on Saturday we woke up to what is a new reality. It started here. It's unbelievable. I believe it will expand in the next months. I think what we're seeing is not just unprecedented. They went to a peace party, executed 260 people. Some girls were raped while sitting. The boyfriends were executed next to them. These are insanity. We don't even know how to comprehend what is happening. We believe that at the moment, as people, as members, I was supposed to travel the world and do stuff. Life has changed for us. It will never be the same. We're asking ourselves, how do we come back from this? And there's always this saying, we come back stronger and this and that. But at the moment, even though we're all focused and I've been awake for 72 hours working, and you don't come back from this. This is, I speak to EO members all over the world when they try and console us. And I say, first of all, you can't. And secondly, do me a favor, hug your kids. It started with us and it's coming. And this is how we feel. We'd never had in my generation a declaration of war. This terror attack happened exactly 50 years in one day after our last war. We lost 3,000 soldiers. Just to give you the magnitude, we are now the body count of over 1,200, which the equivalent to 9/11 means that it's 10 times if you look per capita. And it's not two planes hitting a building. It's terror going house to house, purging the homes. And you and I often talk about business and podcasts, and who wants to talk about these things anymore? It's like life's been sucked out of us. I want to say that sometimes when things happen, we say now we get the job done, we will grieve tomorrow. So for us, as EO members, as chapter leaders, and so on, we decided to focus on getting the job done. We have over 900. We have over 900 members at the moment on a WhatsApp group from all over the world. There's, I think, 50 or 60 countries. We rally together, Jewish, non-Jewish, people who've never been to Israel. They have no idea what this place is even on the map, but they understand the gravity of the situation, and we decided to take action. And that's where most of the work is done. By the way, I think Ami will correct me. I think yesterday we got enough money to buy 3 ambulances. We're focused on 3 key initiatives.
Wow.
3 key initiatives. Donations. Yeah.
I want to go to Ami, who will brief us on some of the initiatives. Before I do, Nir, what is it like out on the street if you go out into the streets right now?
The streets are empty in Tel Aviv. Most places are closed. On Sunday, there was a coffee shop open, and I asked the guy, why did you open? And he said, look, I'm not the owner or anything. I opened because people will need coffee. And he's there alone every day. Now, some places are opening a few hours just to offer a certain relief. So people come buy a cup of coffee and leave. No one sits. I walk around the streets at midnight. I'm alone in a street that should be tonight packed with thousands of people partying. Thousands.
Yeah.
So this is the situation at the moment in the heart of the country.
Yeah. Nir, I know you might have to go at a moment's notice, and I know that you're operating at a very low sleep, so I'll give you permission to leave if you need to.
Thank you for understanding.
Yeah. Thank you for everything. Stay safe, Nir.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Ami, let's go to you. First of all, thank you for your leadership and for all of your leadership. Go to you. First of all, thank you for your leadership and for all of your leadership. You all have been very involved, but Ami, you've been organizing webinars and getting people on Zoom calls and organizing groups. Talk a little bit about this organization, for those who aren't familiar with it, Entrepreneurs Organization, 18,000 entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs all over the globe with chapters in hundreds of different companies, 100 plus different countries, including in Israel. Talk a little bit about what you've been doing since Saturday.
I think it's first to note that maybe like many people in America or around the world, I had this complete sense of despair for the first 24 hours. I couldn't even function properly. And then I decided that doing nothing and lying around the house moping and stuck to the news 24/7 and feeling hopeless was not enough. And then as I thought of, let me do everything I can to help rally it's not me, it's everyone in the community, the power of the EO community to see if we can leverage our resources and our networks to do everything we can. Immediately, in my mind, the chapter in Israel became our client. They have so much on their plates. They are members taking food up to their kids in the army bases and this and that and the other. Many kids have been called to service. And I said, let's connect with the EO chapter. I want to applaud Ab, who's on this podcast, for starting a WhatsApp group, having the foresight to do that. I didn't even realize Ab had started it until yesterday. And collectively, we are leveraging the power of like 900 and growing entrepreneurs now around the world who care about the situation and are trying to do everything in our power to help.
That's so great. And Fran, from your perspective, where were you on Saturday when you heard the news, and what was the first couple of days like for you? You're muted.
So I was in synagogue on Saturday morning when the guard, when I kind of walked in, the guard pulled me aside and said, I know this is going to be really hard for you, but people are going to be talking inside that we learned about this. And I was, we were at the tail end of Sukkot, our incredible holiday, which was very joyous, celebrating, God giving us the Torah, and there was nothing joyous about it. It was very difficult. We didn't have access to a lot of communication, being the Sabbath, and which was really in a holiday that really sprung right through Sunday night. And we were, just at our neighbors trying really hard to celebrate life while get information, knowing I have family on the front lines. I lived in Israel for 4 years. I mean, I feel like I was the only Shomer Shabbat original Jew, 20 years ago, back when I started, in 2003, 4. And I just, it was so hard to be so helpless. And, living straight in New York, we were so close to ground zero and everybody started to compare it. And when we understood Saturday late morning that there was a war declaration, and we had started seeing images and scrolling phones through, with other people, it was devastating to learn the horrific atrocities being carried out to innocent civilians. And this is why, your fight is our fight. It's not okay. I'm not okay. We're not okay. All of us are not okay. This is a violation of humanitarian rights. Everybody deserves to feel safe in their own home, in their streets, in going to school, going to buy a cup of coffee. It's not okay to brutally rape and behead babies and burn bodies. It's not okay. And this is much more, it is much more indicative of the Holocaust, in which is a subject very close to my family's heart. And we're so involved still to this day with keeping those memories of these people alive. And it's just horrific. And it's very difficult to stand quiet. It's very difficult not to voice to the broader community that this is not about a real estate issue. This is not about Jewish or Palestinian. This is a humanitarian right. And their fight, the Israeli people, this is our fight. It's a humanitarian fight for the dignity of human beings, not to be violated. And for this community to come together this way, to stand with the people of Israel, your fight is our fight. There is no doubt this is not just going to stay inside the borders of Israel. There is no doubt in my mind we are targeted everywhere. And we have to be careful, and we have to unify, and we have to. There's a never again slogan. This is never again. This will not happen. We will not be extinguished. We will not go quietly. preserving the right of humanity. And we will do everything we can to band together to ensure that propaganda does not win. We are going to band together to make sure that the atrocities never happen to another human being. Everyone deserves the right to feel safe in their own home. They have a right. That is a basic human right. And to be violated brutally is just incomprehensible. It's unconscionable in this day and age. And we just have to focus on the job to be done.
And I want to get to that, Fran, because you've been very involved. Ab, I want to bring you into the conversation. Ab DeWeese, I believe you're in Dallas, Texas, or thereabouts. You started the WhatsApp group. Take us back. Where were you when you heard the news, and what motivated you to start getting involved?
Not a, but my heart is with all the Jewish people in the world, and I just feel like it's so important for everyone to understand what has happened, and the depth of the atrocity that's been committed is unconscionable. So I'll give you guys my perspective. So I'm not Jewish, and I'm not Israeli, and I'm a member of a dad's group in EO. And I woke up to someone saying, "Hey, somebody's posting something political in the chat." And so I jumped in and I saw that somebody posted something about Israel and an attack. And then, like you said, John, at the beginning, you said, or something, maybe it was Nir said, it's run of the mill. It just happens all the time. So, which is horrible that it's so common that you just dismiss it as, oh, it's just another attack. So I did a quick Google, and I found out that it was something happened. And then I was like, man, and then I went back and I read the post. I was like, guys, can we calm down? Can we not, can we keep this channel, this sacred place about being a better man and father and husband? Because it's all about leaning into that. And then people started posting more and more about it. And I think Eitan posted his LinkedIn video where he just kind of did this very, very calm kind of cry for solidarity and help. And it was only then that I started to piece together what was happening, and that it was maybe something a little more, and that what I was really hearing from my Jewish friends was this is going to turn into a war. It's going to be a long and protracted thing, and we need to know that the world is standing behind us. So I just thought, well, let me just create a WhatsApp group and like threw it in the dad's chat and asked guys to join, and people started piling in. Then it got way bigger than me really, really fast. But as I was able to kind of hang on to my seat and follow along. And then the shit that started coming out pissed me off. And I started to learn about what happened to teenagers at a party and to babies and burning houses and the magnitude of what happened. And it pissed me off. And I just began to follow it. And I had to go back to my dad's chat and apologize. I said, guys, I'm really sorry. I tried to come in and moderate. I did not realize how heinous this was. And I find this even now, if I'm different WhatsApp communities, I might say, like, I stand with the Jewish people, let's come in. And somebody's going to comment and say, let's not get political. Let's not get political. This is not politics, y'all. They beheaded babies. They burned people alive in their houses. They drugged them out. They drugged mothers and young children across the border and kidnapped them. Like, these are the things of horror movies. And the people that committed this are evil, right? And so to sit back and call this anything other than that is a bunch of BS. And I hope that the people that are listening that are not Jewish can take a really, really hard look. Like, don't just read the Washington Post. Don't just read it. Don't just read the news as it's put out and listen to them talk about like context or fair and balanced. Like, no, look for the facts, read past that, read through, do your own research, dig deep, understand what happened, and then decide for yourself whether or not you're going to take a moral stand, because what was done was unconscionable. And for me, it was sort of having to face that question of, all right, you sometimes you don't like being backed into a corner and having to make a decision when someone makes you take them to the mat. And I'm like, when someone puts me in that position, I always try to offer them a lot of options and give them a lot of alternatives, a lot of options. Some people insist on backing you into a corner and making you take them to the mat. And it is not Israel's fault. Their hand has been forced, and they are going to retaliate, and the world needs to stand behind them. So thanks for giving me a chance to talk, John.
Yeah, thanks, Ab. I want to move to talking about some of the mobilization.
John, can I say, sorry?
Yeah, go ahead, Emmy.
Ab, God bless you for doing what you did and standing up for what you did. And this is not just a Jewish group. And I'm so proud we haven't really spent much time but to consider you a friend and for your leadership. And this is not, you're a part of us. This is not us versus them. And so really, I just want to take a minute. I don't quite remember exactly what you said at the beginning, but the beauty, in my perspective, one of the biggest beauties about the group that is formed, about the 900 EOers, there's a good amount of Jews in there, but it's absolutely not all Jewish. There are plenty of members of different races and ethnicities and backgrounds and religions and nationalities in there. And we should celebrate that. And Ab, you're staying as the leader of the group, whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm. I think there also are certain moments in time, when we look back at our lives where something significant happens and we have epiphanies. For me, I have to say that this has been an epiphany for me, and it's been about Israel and the importance of Israel. And I admit I didn't fully understand and appreciate why Israel is so important. And we can't let what happened to Afghanistan happen to Israel, and we have to protect it. And if we don't protect Israel, it's, as everyone has said, it's going to be Washington, D.C. next. It's going to be New York next. And it's going to be other reasons to hate people, other groups of people. But I do want to provide some practical resources for those who are listening and some ways in which they can get involved. And I mean, do you want to talk a little bit about specifically in EO, the different groups that are forming and some of the different ways in which people are focusing their energies?
So as of today, this is a moving target, so it could change, John. There's a broad WhatsApp group, I think EOs for Israel. And maybe in this show, you can include some of these links if you're open to it for people to share. And then really at the directive of the Israel chapter, we have divided into 3 core initiatives. One of them is donations. There are thousands of pleas and campaigns from a wide variety of organizations and people asking for money for Israel. What we've done is with the chapters, we've worked to really identify the most urgent needs in the street and to ensure that we are facilitating the donations where all the money gets to the people or the resources who need it. The second group, and any EO members are welcome to join these groups, is about social media and marketing. It is a group, and we have a lot of marketing resources in EO working to build campaigns and infrastructure and knowledge to help get the word out and get the messages out in the community. And the third is member helping members. So EO is a global organization. While Israel is a relatively small chapter with, I think, 42 members, it's a powerful chapter. Many of those businesses are just thrown into disarray. I want you to think a little bit about the US, for the US listeners, and COVID, and we had PPP. There's no PPP right now in Israel. Okay. Many employees have been sent off to war and this and that. Businesses are shut. And the government does not have structure and support. These members need help both on a business level and on a personal level and the EO community will do everything we can to help them. Those are the three core initiatives. There is a daily Zoom call, which I think we should include in the links, John, if you can, that any EO members are joined to at 11 o'clock. We are testing one additional group in those Zoom calls, which today didn't have people at, but maybe people will start to show, which is just to place a safe space, like a forum, like space, if people want to get together and talk about their feelings, ask their questions, their struggles, trying to understand what's going on. And we will continue to do that and see if it becomes a need or not, but a place for any EO members. And hopefully at the same time, we can help use that to build some bridges in the community.
Yeah. Fran, I know you've been leveraging some of your expertise in helping to mobilize this group and specifically around the messaging, which, you know, in spite of the horrors and the atrocities and everything, is important, right? Because there's a reason why there's a lot of misunderstanding, and there's a reason why people think that, you know, this is not some people think that it's not a terror attack, and they think it's about politics, and it's about messaging and communication. And so those things are important to get right. So talk a little bit about, please, some of the conversations that are talking about how to communicate about this event.
So thanks, John, I really appreciate you highlighting this a little bit. We right now, like to Ab's point, and thank you, brother. I really appreciate you more than you know. When I think about how do we create education for a wider audience to understand beyond EO, I think about the outcome of my concern, which actually worries me, that at some point there will be a mass change with Israel's position, right? We're assembling in quiet at the moment, somewhat quiet. But it's going to get much louder and much bigger. And the propaganda is going to start. It's already starting. And we are up against, right? If you think about the state of Israel is smaller than the state of New Jersey, right? Like just think about the magnitude of the piece of land that hosts just a few million people, and that the state is 60 years old. We need education. We need to be able to share information so that the broader population doesn't get sucked up into the propaganda, doesn't get sucked into a real estate issue, doesn't get sucked into a Jew versus Palestine issue. This is not about freeing Palestine. This is not about facts. This is about a humanitarian understanding that we have to stand with the Jewish people, because these are barbaric, inconceivable acts against humanitarian life, and it breaks the code of life rules. And we need to educate that. And their fight, what's going on over there, is our fight here. And we need to take a stand and do our best in a very respectful way, in accordance and alignment with the Charter of EO, to take our own values and apply them here. So I stand with the Jewish people, and then I stand with Israel, are two very different messages. And it's really about the people. And I stand with the Jewish people is our main primary message. And there will be offshoots of trying to campaign, right? Everybody deserves human rights, deserve a safe place. There is no question that your fight, the people of Israel, your fight is my fight. Doesn't matter if I'm not there. And I have adopted that fight in an educational way, and doing everything I can to buy a bunch of suitcases and fill up things with needs and get them to the airport. I'm blessed to live right near JFK, and I'm blessed to have really deep contacts into incredible places that have allowed me to just give and to do and to serve. And to be honest, since Sunday night, that's all we've been mobilizing. And maybe it's just the location. New York is the largest Jewish population outside of Israel, so we don't feel alone. We feel scrambled, but it's very difficult when people in my community have children on the front lines. We are there with you. We are separated by a sea and a thousand miles, but we are suffering greatly. And our job in this platform is to not be drowned out. It is to completely elevate the educational voice. I have no more words. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay, Fran. And I want to thank all you guys for being here. I know you all have lots to do, so I'm going to let you go. Any final thoughts from Ami or Ab?
I want to share one thing if I can. A friend called me 2 nights ago, I think. And he said, Ami, make me feel better and tell me the world's like going to get better. And my response was, I can't tell you what's going to happen in the world, but I can tell you the way I'm feeling better is just by doing something to help. So just do something, friends, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Get involved in some way. It's small, medium, big, whatever works for you, but do something. And if you do something and put this battle be won by millions and millions of small acts of kindness and small acts of determination, small acts of love. Ab, you're a hero. You are. Okay. And just do whatever it is. Do something, whether that means take a suitcase to Israel, pack something in a suitcase, or give a little bit of money, or go to a rally, or go to a campaign.
Or share a post.
Share a post.
Yeah.
Share your feelings on social. Just do something.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. And collectively, all those somethings will be great.
Ab, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I would have a call to action. I have a specific ask for Jewish EO members outside of Israel. So if you're outside of Israel and you're in EO and you're Jewish, I would implore you to, it's gonna be a lot harder than it normally is, but to embrace your forum mindset and to be open and to very slowly and gently educate your non-Jewish friends. And some people were able to do that to me. I was able to see for myself and understand what was going on. Ami led a similar talk at his chapter. And I had friends that attended. They were like, wow, so to the extent that you, the Jewish non-Israeli listener, can give just a little bit more of that forum mindset to bring your friends into awareness of what's going on, we can build that awareness. That would be my ask.
To that point, Ab, if you're confused, have questions, unsure,
Ask.
don't quite get it, come join us every day on Zoom at 11 o'clock, every day. If it's 2 people, 3 people, 5 people, 10 people, I don't care. And we will, in a forum-like conversation, in a very emotionally intelligent way, talk us through. I learned things the other night from Ab's friend. Okay. Come join those calls at 11. I mean it.
John, I'm super grateful for you taking to the power of audio podcast.
Yes. As Ami said, is the least we can do, right? Doing whatever little part we can. So we'll wrap up there. Thank you all. Appreciate everything you're doing, and peace be with you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.